Good evening. Hello and a warm welcome to all of you. I'm delighted to be your host and moderator, Preeta Harikrishnan, Deputy Manager of Admissions at Amrita Health Sciences, Kochi campus. Thank you for joining us today for an insightful presentation on medical laboratory technology. I'm confident that this session will provide valuable insights, and to ensure you at most benefit, we encourage you to utilize the chat box to share any questions or concerns you may have. Rest assured, we'll address them following the presentation. So without further ado, I'm thrilled to introduce our esteemed guest, the dynamic and knowledgeable Asha Sudhir Madam, Assistant Professor at the Department of Microbiology, Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences, Kochi. She has been a part of AIMS since 2008 and is pursuing her doctorate in clinical virology. I lovingly welcome Madam to address our attendees. Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, and it's an honor to present to everybody here. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. Okay, my humble pranam to our guiding light, Sadhguru Mata Amritanmayi Devi. Amma is our all in all. She guides all our students, our faculty, everywhere, in all our thoughts. Let me tell a word about Amrita Institute of Medical Sciences. You must have heard a lot about it, okay? But this massive health infrastructure is spread over 125 acres of land. It supports a daily patient volume of about 3,000 outpatients with 95% inpatient occupancy. Annual patient turnover touches an incredible figure of almost 800,000 outpatients and nearly 50,000 inpatients. There are 12 super specialty departments, 45 other departments, 4,500 support staff, 670 faculty members. There are extensive facilities comprising 28 modern operation theaters, 230 equipped intensive care beds, a fully computerized and networked hospital HIS system, HIS, that is information system, a fully digital radiology department, enable accredited clinical laboratories, and 24/7 telemedicine service. AIMS offers a total and a comprehensive healthcare solution comparable to the best hospitals in the world. The AIMS team comprises physicians, surgeons, and other healthcare professionals of highest caliber and experience. Now, the question arises, why should we study at Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham? When we discuss about the course of BSc MLT, there are so many reasons, but I'm just highlighting the four major reasons. We're equipped with 17 NABL accredited clinical laboratories, all of which are world standard. Okay, now world-class standards. Now, this is very, very important. When you do BSc MLT, you're supposed to work in the best laboratory equipped places, isn't it? Now, another thing is when you get trained at these laboratories, it gives a distinct and non-comparable edge over other students studying at other standalone paramedical colleges where they do not have access to labs. They might have minimal access, but it really makes a difference when you study in a hospital which is combined with laboratories which are really good. You have so much of benefit, it is you get the best possible teaching, and you see what is actually happening between the patient and with what is happening in the laboratory, isn't it? Now, also our students fare very well in job interviews and are well placed abroad and in India. This is also the thing about studying in Amrita. When the moment people hear that you're working in Amrita or you studied Amrita, it's got a distinct advantage because you're highly knowledgeable. You've got a lot of experience. You see a lot of real life scenarios. Okay. Now, Amrita University strives to help all students attain the competence and character to humbly serve humanity in accordance with the highest principles and standards of healthcare profession. Okay. So at Amrita University, one thing we always stress is students should be humble. They should be they should be able to receive the knowledge with grace. Okay, so that is very, very important because you're going to deal with human beings. So that is why we say you need to have the highest principles and standards of healthcare profession. Now, why exactly Namrita is now these are the things which we see every time in the newspaper. If you see according to World University rankings, uh, we have got a fairly high ranking and NAC A plus plus accredited university we are, isn't it? And NIRF also rankings also we come quite fairly high. Okay. Now, next is I'll go straight to the introduction. Now, medical laboratory technology is an allied health specialty. These professionals are also referred to as clinical laboratory technologists or clinical laboratory scientists or medical technologists. Now, depending on the country where you're going to work, in some countries, Western countries, they refer to you as clinical laboratory scientists. Now, medical laboratory technologists have a bachelor's degree in medical technology. They're concerned with the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of disease through the use of clinical laboratory tests. Medical diagnosis has evolved to become more evidence based, hence, the need to prove by laboratory tests. I hope you understand what it means. It means that you use tests to diagnose the disease. Okay. Now, technologists examine blood, tissue, and other body samples. Some examples of basic functions are like they perform complex chemical, biological, hematological, immunological, microscopic, and bacteriological tests. Now, what they say is you have different kinds of laboratories. You can have a microbiology lab, you can have a biochemistry lab, you can have a pathology lab. In microbiology lab, one looks for infectious diseases like bacteria, fungi, parasites, or other microorganisms by culturing body samples. Okay, that's one of the main tests you do in the microbiology laboratory. The biochemistry lab, you analyze samples for chemical content, example, blood glucose and cholesterol levels. In pathology labs, you do cross matching of blood samples for transfusions, and and other tests include processing biopsy tissues for cancer. Okay, there are so numerous tests. I'm just highlighting one or two tests. Okay, now this is the introduction about what we exactly do at medical laboratory technology. Now these are some pictures, and this is something which you're familiar with. Like I am basically a microbiologist, so I'll be introducing I'll be very much interested in the picture on the left side. Can you see down here where you grow these organisms on the culture plate? Okay, we also use a in microbiology there's nothing without the microscope, so you have a lady looking at the microscope. Okay, and so these are all the different machines where you can load. Okay, and these are all biochemical tests. This is where you take the blood sample on the far right. Okay, so there are numerous facets to this course. There are so many facets you can learn. Okay, now objectives of the course. You develop knowledge and skill in accordance with the society's demand in medical laboratory technology, along with health administration, leadership, quality assurance, and health informatics. I'll give you a very simple example. When COVID came, okay, um, medical laboratory technology was just related, like, it was confined to the routine sample examination. COVID came, medical laboratory technology just, shot up. Like everything was in the labs, all the work was in the labs, isn't it? So a lot of importance has come to this course because of COVID. Okay. And later, due to other tests. Now, it is also another objective of the course is to establish and manage a clinical or research laboratory. It's not just working in the lab. You're supposed to, know every facet about the laboratory. How can you become a senior manager and everything related to the laboratory? Now, also you can work in a research laboratory. That comes calls for specialization. Now, another objective is to do routine and special investigative procedures in medical laboratory practice. Okay. And also to able to operate and maintain all equipments used in the laboratory diagnostics. So when you see this, you realize that you need to know from A to Z of everything regarding the laboratories. Okay. And it's quite a task. In the course outline, this is a 4-year professional degree course comprising 4 papers in each year. First year, second year, third year, final year. First year, you have anatomy, physiology, okay, biochemistry, basic microbiology, immunology, basic laboratory sciences. Second year, you have again the continuation of the subjects of biochemistry and microbiology and hematology. Again, third year also, it's continuation. Along with you have computer application, research methodology, biostatistics, and laboratory management. And final year, when you do a little bit more into detail of subjects like virology, mycology, and also you do a project. Okay, so the projects in Amrita are the best. That's what I can say. You do really good class projects where some of them even publish. Okay, now the job scope. You can now, there are so many scopes. Okay, now so much is there, but I've just listed a few. You can work in government or in private hospitals. You can work in commercial diagnostic laboratories, example DDRC. That's a name you've heard, isn't it? Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, another example. Another thing is you can work in blood and organ banks, medical equipment and sales companies, research facilities. You can work in projects like ICMR, where they hire lab personnel. Okay, you can work in public health organizations, pharmaceutical and reference laboratories. Now, some of the different laboratories where MLT professions have scope are forensic. Now, these are specific laboratories. Okay, what I told before was in the generalized where you can work. In specific laboratories include forensic, blood banks and transfusion medicine, microbiology, histopathology, cytogenetics, biochemistry, neuroimmunology, cytology, veterinary laboratories, molecular biology laboratories, and labs in Ayurvedic fields. Okay. Now, next thing is why should you choose MLT career? Like, there are so many reasons, like I showed you. If you're interested in research or if you're interested in focused areas, it's very good. Okay. Now, it's a job oriented or a professional course. Abroad, the packages are very, very good pay. That's number one reason many people choose the multi career. Now, it's also for people who want to be the medical field but not direct patient care. Okay, so that is one thing. Many people like they say, okay, we want to do work related to patients but not directly patient care, like nursing field and all. So this is a very good field. Then this role is perfect for somebody who like thinking in a scientific way, like science detectives. They behave like science detectives, and finally help the physicians to diagnose the disease and help in proper treatment of the patient. Okay, now I teach MLT. For people who are not used to this, they might think, oh, there's so much of stuff to learn. But actually, it's very, very interesting. Once example, if I see something in the blood, okay, then I correlate with what the patient condition is. You actually help so much in diagnose a disease, isn't it? So you think like a science detective. The volume of laboratory tests increases with population growth, and so also the development of new types of tests. The best example is COVID, isn't it? When COVID came, laboratories were the highlight, isn't it? So that is why with every year, MLT is gaining more and more prominence. Okay. Now, after the COVID pandemic, there's been massive demand for diagnostic testing jobs in molecular laboratories as well. Now, if not the above, actually, what they say is you can pursue an illustrious career in academics as well as research later. Okay, you can also, if you're more interested in teaching, you can get a higher degree and also do research. Now, one important thing is what are the pros and cons? There are some facts to be considered. This is a professional course. They're expected to be able to handle sophisticated equipment, be skilled in all techniques and communication, and are answerable in all actions. That is, one is expected to reduce errors and not be negligent. I tell all my students, you're doing something which is related to patient care. You should be very, very alert. You should be attentive. You should not be able to make silly errors on or any kind of error, isn't it? Directly affects patient care. So you should not be negligent. You should be alert and you should be responsible for whatever you do. Okay. The field is constantly evolving, and at Amrita Hospital, there's constant training of the laboratory personnel with newer skills. Okay. So that is one important, that's a highlight here. Whenever any new test comes, we train our personnel and you are updated with what is latest. Okay. Now this updation helps when they want to write competitive exams and go abroad and keep pace with developed countries. So that's a very great advantage with us. Okay. So our students are, when they go abroad, people just marvel, oh, you learned this at Amrita. Amrita teaches you so much. We are like, that's one of our jobs, to keep our students well equipped. Now, it is important to know that where there would be shift work in diagnostic laboratory. So this is one of the uh, things you should know. When it is a laboratory, it's a 24-hour service, isn't it? So there would be shift work in diagnostic laboratory. So it should not be that you don't know that MLT means you just, it's a 9 to 5 job. When you're a senior person, yes, 9 to 5. But most of the laboratories, if it's 24/7, you need to keep in mind you might have to do shift duties. Okay. Now, where all our students are working outside this institution. People from Amrita, most of the students are absorbed here itself. They work here, gain experience, and then try to go abroad for better monetary prospects. This is what is actually happening here. Many of the people, they get absorbed here. Okay. Now, many apply for central and state-based government jobs, which gives them stable and benefit-based jobs. Okay. Many go for higher studies like masters for promotions or research or teaching-based careers in paramedical colleges across India. Okay. So this is where all our students are working, and what is happening right now. Now, end of my presentation, I would like to show you a certain things which I always tell my students. Okay. The first one is, this is one thing I would like to say. My teacher gave me the best gift of all, believing in me. Amrita is not just about knowledge. It is all about values. It is all about learning to know where to get the best education from, isn't it? So we tell our students, please believe in yourself. It might, things might be difficult, things might be difficult to understand, or the setting goings might not be as smooth, but believe in yourself. You are in the best place. That's what I can say. Next is, success is not an accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you're doing or learning to do. There are so many students who come here, they say that, oh my God, I'm not able to understand. And so many, they have so many problems. So we always tell them that you have to work hard. When do you work hard? You work hard when you love something, isn't it? So because you're coming for a professional course, you have to do hard work. You need to know what is perseverance. You need to know what it is to have to sacrifice what you love. And okay, and you need to love what you study. Then only you'll become successful in life. Next is, teaching is more than imparting knowledge. It is inspiring change. Learning is more than absorbing facts. It is acquiring understanding. You study MLT, you need to know the nitty gritty of it, isn't it? You need to understand what makes the things go wrong, what makes things work. Okay. So you need to understand your subject, fall in love, then you will become successful. Next is, the best students come from homes where education is revered, where there are books and children see the parents reading them. So what I'm trying to say here is, inculcate a habit of reading, studying well. Okay. Keep on reading, get updated with what is happening in the world, have an atmosphere, have a habit of keeping yourself updated with the latest research work and all, then it will become better. Okay. And I would suggest the parents also take interest in their students when they are studying about the course, and studying whatever is related to the course. Okay. They give them a big impetus. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill love of learning. That's what I told you before. Okay. So these are things I must tell you. Amrita is the place to study. It has got the best equipment, the best teachers. You get the best knowledge. And above all, you have the direct grace of Amma guiding you. There's no other place, I believe, where Amma doesn't guide directly. This is indeed the best place to study BSc MLT. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We really got to know now that you're the gifts of, you're one of the gift of Amrita for all the MLT students who are here and who are yet to join. So your presentation really motivated and inspired us all. So I am happy that all those who attended today's webinar would really be motivated to join Amrita for all the reasons that you explained to us. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all that good presentation you did this evening for us. And before we really wind up the webinar, we have Shan Lee, who will just guide us through the admission process. this year. Shanley.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, all. Today, I'm telling the admission process for the BSc MLT program here in Amrita. So most of you have done your fee payment. As you know, we have three categories: scholarship, non-scholarship, and NRI category in the BSc MLT. The tuition fees for scholarship is rupees 1,10,000, and tuition fees for non-scholarship is rupees 1,40,000. And for the NRI category, it is USD 3,000. And apart from the tuition fees, you have to pay another fees of 38,925 and hostel and mess of 68,000. And also, there will be an allotment processing fee of 2,500. So the duration of the course is 3 years plus 1 year. The eligibility is minimum 17 years of age and maximum 23 years of age on or before 31st December. And you have to get a minimum 60% aggregate marks in physics, chemistry, biology, and English in your +2. So those who have completed the fee payment, they have already got a welcome mail from Amrita Vishwavidyapitham saying you to register in the Swagatham 2024 portal. So suppose if anyone didn't get the mail, kindly contact the admission office. And those who got the mail, all of you are strictly instructed to fully complete the Swagatham 2024 portal. You have to register in the Swagatham as shown in the figure. You have to register in the Swagatham portal using your registered mail ID. So the link is given here, swagatham.amrita.edu. So what and all details you have to update in the Swagatham portal is the profile, like student details, parent details, and declaration you have to fill up. You have to fill up the academic details and also the document. In document, certain set of documents are asked. You have to completely upload all the documents like your 10th mark sheets, +2 mark sheets, TC, migration, and also anti-ragging form, code of conduct. The anti-ragging and code of conduct forms can be found in the Swagatham portal itself. So after that, you can check your payment details also in the portal. How much like the payment transaction details can be available in the portal. And at the same time, in the document session, you have already got some set of forms in the Swagatham mail, which is already received. So there is around 17% pages of set of forms. Those set of forms, you have to take the printouts, you have to fill all the details, paste your photographs, and scan those set of forms and upload in the Swagatham portal in the other document session. You have to compress the PDF and the size should not exceed more than 1 MB. You have to compress the PDF and upload in the add other document session in the Swagatham portal. So once after completing all these, you will be getting a mail telling you to coming for the document verification in the Amrita campus physically. So the verification of eligibility will happen that day. Already you have received the mail. So if anyone didn't receive the mail, you can just contact the admission office. So the document verification is purely based on checking your eligibility as mentioned in the Amrita website. You have to as already said, you have to score a minimum 60% aggregate in your physics, chemistry, English, and biology. The students will be called to Amrita Kochi campus for the physical verification of the documents. The allotment already made will stand cancelled if you fail to meet the eligibility criteria required for the program allotted to you in the CSAP procedure. So the instructions for document verification, you have to carry out the printout of the set of forms which you have received in the welcome mail. You have to upload the set of forms in the Swagatham portal in the add other document session. Make sure to bring all the originals mentioned while coming for the verification. And at the same day, you can collect your uniform materials. And after verification, your originals will be returned back to you. So after completing all the registration, the candidate will receive a confirmation mail including your registration number. You have to save your registration number, registered mail ID, and password of the AOP portal and also the Swagadam portal for the future reference. If at all you have any admission related queries regarding the Swagadam portal or any other queries, you can contact the admission office in the given numbers, or you can mail us at ugadmissions@aims.amrita.edu. And attention regarding this matter that Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham has not appointed any agent or third-party client for securing admission in any program. Students are hereby requested to contact only the toll-free number on our website for any admission-related queries. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanley, for that. And now, is there any doubts from the student side, candidates who have attended? Any doubts? Madam is there to rectify it for you. You can just raise your hands if you have any. Ma'am, today we have only the attendees who have already registered for MLT.
Okay.
So I think 9 of them is quite a good number who really would have understood what they have to really meet when they come and see you or in the department of MLT. So I don't see anyone raising. They are clear with whatever you have told them. So maybe they don't have any doubts.
Yes.
So that's good. So anyway, madam, thank you so much. So as we try to wind up the session, I express my heartfelt gratitude to you, madam, and all the attendees who had been here today for your presence. And I express my sincere appreciation to all those who contributed to this webinar today. So with that, I think we could conclude this webinar. Thank you and goodbye. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All the best the coming students. And everything is possible. You just have to work hard and do the best possible institution. That's all I can say.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.